I think I'm more intentional now. Obviously, it's become a hobby. I mean, it's always been a hobby. It's for me, it's about making time for it around my family life, work, and other hobbies that are close to my heart. I think I'm more structured and organized than I used to be. With photography, I'm always eager to keep learning, experimenting with new ideas. But I'd say it's more intentional now. It's become a part of my life.
Thank you so much for listening to ToyPhotoCast. Today we have an incredible guest, Jay Khaled _M on Instagram. He is an incredible artist from the UK. He works in finance, but in his spare time, he works on his craft and is primarily a portrait photographer, but he is well versed in the many different styles of toy photography. So without further ado, let's get into the episode, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. Thanks so much and have a great day. All right, so how long have you been involved in toy photography, and what would you say pulled you into it at first?
I'd say about 7, 8 years ago. It would be around COVID. Yeah, I started working from home, so obviously things were quite crazy back then, and I started spending more time on the social media aspect of things, and I guess that's when I realized the toy community was a lot bigger than I'd ever expected.
Nice. How did it go from like, I'm going to just take some photos of my action figures to like, I'm going to try to like make some serious art? How did that work for you?
I think it was looking at all the different talented custom artists that were out there. They were just showcasing their incredible work and what they had to offer and stuff. And I think that kind of encouraged me to become more engaged. I thought, you know what, I do like photography and stuff. I was into street photography and
Yeah.
nature and literally anything and everything. I just love cameras. And yeah, I think that's where it was. I thought, you know what? I've never done this before. Let's go for it.
Was there like a specific, like a figure or like maybe a photo that you saw that kind of changed the way you like looked at toy photography? Was there anything specific?
I would say it was more, back then, it was more custom work.
Okay.
I got to know a lot of artists and they were doing custom clothes, custom head sculpts and stuff. And I was really interested on improving what I've got. And obviously, I didn't know that there is a big world out there, a lot of artists and stuff. And I believe that kind of got me totally sucked in.
When you started doing those photos, like did you have an idea of what you wanted your style to be like? How would you describe your style with toy photography nowadays?
I think I was always into portraits. I
Mm,
always loved like even pencil sketches of portraits and paintings and stuff. So I knew that portrait is what I love. So I never switched from it. It was always portrait related. Yeah, just to capture details and close-ups, and I kind of stuck on that field. It's what I enjoy. Yeah, I think that's me, portraits.
that's amazing. What kind of like emotions when you're doing portraits are you trying to like capture? Like, is it specific to the figure or is it just depend on the day?
Um, I think for with me, it's very spontaneous. Yeah, I don't. I just look at something. I think it's the emotion. It depends what mood I'm in.
Mm,
Mood and the scene. It just comes. It just like today. I'm thinking of shooting a portrait with cloudy background. Um, with a cloudy backdrop full of clouds and stuff. And yeah, it just play about with the camera, try different angles, and yeah, it's just very spontaneous for me. I never kind of plan anything. It just comes. I
I
just think
got you.
of
I
it,
got
and
you.
when it comes, I have to do it. That's it. I have to do it.
So when you're getting that spark of inspiration, are you approaching it like how do you set up a shot? Like, are you being like, I'm just going to grab my figure real quick and just see what happens, or do you have any like Is it more fluid the way you shoot?
I think with me is I'm very like I said, I'm very random. Vision of a shot I think comes to me very spontaneously. I'll say every image is different, and
Mm.
with my photo session, like I always make time. I need at least 2 to 3 hours. I need that bit of space. I don't like rushing into it, and I'd say I'll start experimenting. Um, Starts with the lighting, reposition with the subjects a lot of times. Um, yeah, before I feel satisfied with the final setup. Um, I think, yeah, it just constantly pushing the limits to find out, especially the camera. I'm always learning about the camera. There's so much to learn about cameras, and for me, it's always that starting point. I need to know my camera first before anything. And I'm always
Yeah,
finding different things, when it comes to settings and yeah, it's just all random for me.
I gotcha. And so what is inspiring you and when you're getting that spark of inspiration to go pick up your figure and shoot? Like what's inspiring you outside of toy photography? Is it just like something you saw in like media, or is it film, music, or books, or what's inspiring you?
I think the inspiration it was more like it runs down the family. I've got my granddad was an artist. He was a nature artist, and it goes way back. For me, it was watching his passion and dedication, and I learned a lot of patience about being patient through his work and the way he used to pour it into his work. He was my granddad, and from him, I learned about detail, the lasting impression, the way he left his lasting impression on me. Um, I think he played a big part. His influence is a big part of why I value patience and you know just so deeply today and strive to bring that same care into what I do. Um, yeah, I think it just goes way back when it comes to art, photography. Um, every time I pick a figure up, it's like, yeah, I just see art, I try to
Hmm.
create emotion where I can, um, it means something to me.
Yeah. So what comes first for you? Is it the pose? Like, do you get your pose first, or like do you get the lighting first? What's the first thing that comes when you're creating?
F For me, it's the positioning of the subject.
Mm.
I'd say the lighting, yeah. Main thing for me is um, adjust and test different camera settings. Um, I'm always pushing to find that sharp spot. Um, yeah, I'd say the lighting. Um, I'm always experimenting. There's so much you can achieve moving the light around and um, shadows and lights. Yeah, I'd say it's the lighting for me. Lighting is everything.
Are you setting your camera up while you're doing this, or like how does that workflow happen? You're like, okay, let me get the lighting right.
I'd say I'll set the lighting first. I'll play before even I switch my camera on. I'm always it's all the set, the lighting, and I'm playing about with it before I even switch my camera on. I'm
Hmm.
just visualizing everything with the light, testing everything, and that's when I switch my camera on. And obviously, I'm just like trying to check everything up. Yeah, I'd say subject, lighting, the set first, and what I will be using on that shot, and that's later on the camera comes on.
I gotcha. Okay. And then so once you get that camera turned on and you're starting to get that shot dialed in, like
Mhm.
is there a lot of like editing that you do after you've taken the shot? Like what's your post process like?
So, with that, I'd say the editing for me is always the easiest part, because my main goal is to get the image as close to perfect as possible. Obviously, nothing's perfect, but um, yeah, I like to get it close to perfect as possible in camera.
Hmm.
My process is always to achieve the right lighting white balance as well. I try to get that right before um, post processing. Um, yeah, cropping and composition as well. I get it all right before I even begin post processing. So when it comes to post processing, it's very minimal for me. It's always subtle in Lightroom, um, where I focus on making small, precise adjustments. But I'd say my main goal is to always get the image close in camera.
And what would you say like the piece of gear or software or like technique has like most like drastically improved your photography like over the years? What do you think that something that you bought or maybe like a technique or
My lens, I'd say lens is very important. The type of lens that you use. I think everyone's different in toy photography. Some people, obviously, very practical in terms of they do distance photography where they capture a lot of things in the image and stuff. And you got someone who's like me who's very, I enjoy close-ups. I do love the practical. I'm always practical when it comes to backgrounds and dioramas and stuff, but I'm more capture it up close. So obviously I've got the lens that my favorite two lens is the 50 millimeter um and the 85 millimeter lens. 85 millimeter I would say is my favorite one where you can zoom in and it's very powerful as well. And I'd say that makes a big difference when it comes to focusing and how sharp it is.
I got you. So you're using an 85 zoom, you said. Okay.
Yeah, 85 millimeter, yeah.
Gotcha. Do you feel like now that you've been doing this for a while, like
Mhm.
do you feel like you enjoy this creative process more? How do you look at it now? Is it something that you really still enjoy it being a toy photographer?
I think I'm more intentional now. It,
Hmm.
obviously, it's become a hobby. I mean, it's always been a hobby. Um, it's for me, it's about making time for it around my family life, work, um, and other hobbies that are close to my heart. I think I'm more structured and organized than I used to be. Um,
Yeah.
with photography, I'm always eager to keep learning, experimenting with new ideas. Um, but I'd say it's more intentional now. It's become a part of my life. It keeps me going, away from um, yeah. This hobby always comes second. So away from my personal life and work and everything else. This is like a more breakdown for me. It's like a break. I get a little break, and yeah, it's more intentional now. Yeah.
Do you ever experience like any burnout with the hobby?
Uh, I don't experience burnout because what I do is I make time on the weekends. Um,
Hmm.
I'm not on it Monday to Friday. I have
Okay.
pictures where I post Monday to Friday, but that's because I do all my work and I make time on the weekend. So um, on the weekend, I'll say I'll do a few shots and a few shots, reels or whatever I need to do. And then weekday, I'm just focusing on family and work. But at the same time, I make a little time to post the post the pictures and stuff. But um, obviously, I'm random as well. I make time for literally, I make time. Um, so on the weekday, I'll make an hour or two. I'll have some time in the evening to chill out, catch up with post, support all the accounts that I know. Um, but yeah, I would say I'm very selected. I mean, um, my priority is my family and my life
Hmm.
outside of this hobby. So I never let this get, this never takes over my life.
Yeah.
I'm very organized like this.
That's a very healthy perspective to have because I feel like a lot of us as toy photographers, we become so. I'm speaking from myself, my own perspective, but like, there's a lot of people that get really hyper focused on it and then like try to grow it to where it's like you're doing so many different things, and then all of a sudden you experience burnout, which I experienced some serious burnout with toy photography, but it's really cool to see how you've managed to keep it in perspective and keep it at that hobby, like passion level, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think we have to be very careful. I have seen a lot of artists who, or photographers, or people in this hobby who I got to know, and it's sad because I've seen a lot of people overnight literally wake up one day, right, guys, I'm not doing this anymore, or they disappear, you know? Um, it gets to them mentally and stuff, and that's quite sad. And I think that can easily happen as well. But at the same time, I think you need to know, you need to realize what's important in life, you know? What comes first? You have to organize yourself, you know, and I think if everything's organized, you're fine. It's like I always make time to catch up with people's work. You know, I I always make time to support other artists and people that I know, and I'm always part of the community, but it's very organized in terms of, right, I'm not on it 24/7 during the day, you know. I might be ghosting, and you might see me pop up in the evening. That's my time. And I'll catch up. I'll catch up with everyone. Sometimes I have late nights just so I can catch up with everyone, you know, but um it's my time where I'm chilling out now. I've got time. I'm catching up. But I ain't gonna burn myself down while I'm busy with life and family and work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, and that's what kept me kind of, yeah, I don't stress about it, you know, yeah, at all.
So do you think social media is a how do you view social media within the toy photography hobby? Is it a positive thing for you? Is it something like a necessary thing? Like because when you're making your art, you want to share it with people. But like how do you put it in perspective and keep it in perspective of what's the main thing, you know?
I feel with social media, I never look too far ahead. With me, I'm always grateful for where I am. I'm just having fun and
Yeah.
creating what I connect with, and just enjoying the process. I don't get too deep into social media. Obviously, I've learned over time. I don't believe everything I see, you know. You know, I always like to connect with real people. Um, I think there's a fine line. You have to be careful when it comes to social media. You can't let it take over, and that's where the burnout comes from, right? Um, you see people burning out, or it affects them mentally. I've seen a lot of people it mentally kind of affect them so bad. And this hobby, you have to be very careful as well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not about how much I need. You have to know when to stop or have a balance, you know.
Mm.
You can't basically follow everyone and everyone in terms of they've got this, I need to have it. It doesn't work like that. You have to stick to yourself, you know, where um what I enjoy. I'm gonna, you know, collect what I enjoy. I'm gonna photograph what I enjoy, you know, and those who support me will support me. But if you um chase the crowd, you know, the hype and stuff, I think that's where eventually the burnout comes from a lot of people, where they're trying to keep up, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch it up and do some rapid fire questions. Like these are just really
Right.
fun.
That's
Some
fine.
and take as little or as long a time as you want to explain this, okay? First one is favorite figure to shoot.
For me, everyone knows it's Batman. It For
Gotcha.
me, Batman is from day one. As a child, as you know, DC Comics is, you know, I've always like read comics when I was young, Frank Miller's Batman and all sorts. And for me, it's the emotion. Batman, um, I feel more emotionally connected with Batman. So it's for me, it's Batman, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. And what is the hardest figure for you to shoot?
Um, I would say 112 scale. Um,
Okay.
it's not a specific character. I would say it's more tricky to shoot smaller figures.
Mm,
And maybe it's because of the lens I use. You know, like I said, your lens, you do need different type of lens for different types of photos you want to take. I'd say 112 is more tricky for me.
interesting. Interesting. All right. Do
Yeah,
you prefer practical effects or digital effects?
I'm more practical. That's how I've learned, and I'm always trying to improve myself practically. I never use digital effects at all. I've never got
Okay.
involved with that, and I don't think I even know how to use. When it comes to technology like this, I'm very crap. Um, I'm not. I'm not up to scratch with anything when it comes to people using effects and stuff. I've never got myself involved with that. If
Yeah.
it's practical, I've got a lot of practical stuff at home. When it comes to smoke, snow, rain, it's got to be practical if I go that route. But
Gotcha.
other than that, I'll stay away from digital. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah. It's just your preference.
yeah, preference, yeah.
So, what is one photo that you wish you could remake?
One photo I wish I could remake.
Yeah.
Um, I'd I'd say I'm not really sure, I never thought of that, but I'd say maybe again it'd be Batman, probably on a rooftop, trying to jump off a rooftop.
I
Um,
gotcha.
I'll get there one day.
So, you're thinking like something that you've never done before.
Yeah, I've never done this before, but I know I can. Maybe I need the right tools in terms of the right dioramas and stuff like that, but I'd love to give it a go one day.
Gotcha. Do you prefer indoor or outdoor toy photography?
Um, I'm always indoors. It's
Okay.
like I've got my little setup and um, indoors. Yeah, I do. I wish I could go outdoors one day. I will, but I don't know. I'm very careful with my camera and my gear and stuff, and I think if I go outdoors, I'll probably end up damaging something. And they don't cheat, so yeah,
Yeah,
indoors.
for sure. Okay, what do you think the most overrated trend is in toy photography?
Overrated trend. I'd say um, it just unrealistic hype, like everyone loves everything. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like you see a figure comes out and everyone wants it, and then you see the same people. A lot of people buy it, and 2 days later they're selling it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I think it's very overrated. The hype is just ridiculous, how people are following the hype. Where one something comes out, you don't even know nothing about this figure, but I want it.
I
You
gotcha.
know.
So you think the falling into the buying hype is the most
Oh,
overrated trend?
yeah, 100%. It's too much. Like nobody can. I don't believe every human likes the same thing, in
Yeah,
terms of hobbies or interests and stuff. I think the hype is very dangerous, and I think that's
gotcha.
why. Yeah.
All right, and then two more. What's your favorite lighting setup?
Um, I'm very random when it comes to lighting. I do love Rembrandt lighting. That's one of my favorite portrait style. But at the same
Yeah,
time, I won't say I don't have a favorite to be honest. I'm always experimenting. Every shot is different for me. Um, especially playing about with shadows and stuff. I embrace shadows. The darkness for me adds power and stuff. And
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I see it as a creative tool. Back then it was a bit different where I used to, I don't know. One day I underexposed the picture and I realized the shadows look like more rich and cinematic. So for me, instead of seeing it as a mistake, it's a tool now for me, not an error.
Hmm,
So I think with lighting, I don't have a favorite type of lighting. It's always every shot is different for me.
gotcha. And then last one is, what would you say the most meaningful photo you've ever made that you've personally done?
Oh, um, I'm not too sure to be honest. I think I've got quite a lot of pictures. I think for me, I try to, I don't know, every photo is something, means something to me. Um,
Hmm.
some are quite random, but I think I won't say I don't have a specific type of picture that I've done that is meaningful for me. But I think every time I take a close-up picture of a figure, um, it kind of feel connected, you know. Yeah.
Gotcha. And that ends the rapid fire segment, so we can slow down.
Thank God for that. But that nice, all right.
So, what do you think like the toy community is like does really well? Like, what are some positive things you see that the community does that you can like kind of give them a pat on the back for?
I think the community is great. It all depends who you connect with and stuff. I think the people I'm always connected with are very positive. Um,
Mm.
Genuinely supportive. I think um, we uplift each other. Um, you know, yeah. I also believe that growth comes together. Not alone. But I think everyone is very supportive. Um, yeah, we're just having fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think that before I got into toy photography, I
Hmm.
can definitely say like I'd never been a part of something that where just unanimously people support you from all over the internet, and it's wonderful to be a part of.
Oh, of course, yeah. I respect people that are approachable. It's like I think you never forget how you started, you know. I'll never forget how I started, and I think it's important to be approachable, especially people that are coming up, new into this community and stuff. Um, I think it's important that they feel that a lot of people are approachable. We're just humans, you know. It's not about the numbers and stuff like this. Stay grounded, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Do you think toy photography is taken seriously as an art form? Like, how do you think people that don't do it view toy photography?
Um, I think it has. We might not know how much, is taking effect and stuff. But I believe it's huge. Um,
Hmm.
I do believe it's huge, especially these companies. You got the lighting company like, Loom Cube. You got camera people like Canon and stuff. Yeah, they do know how big this community is. I think it's bigger than what we think it is. 100%, totally. We don't
Nice.
realize how big it is, but I believe it's huge. We do get noticed.
Are there any like underrated creators out there that you think deserve some more attention?
Yeah, yeah, I love to give a shout out to a few who do
Uh,
inspire me, and I'd say them list of people that I do have in my mind. They are very underrated, but I think they're just grounded, you know. I believe
yeah.
they're just grounded doing what they do. They don't care about. It's like myself. I couldn't care if I had 100 followers or 200 followers, you know.
Yeah.
I just do what I do, and I don't worry about the numbers. Thank you, man. So you know what? There's so many people. I don't know where to start, but I'll just in the back of my head, here's a shout out to a few pages and creators who really inspire me, and they are. I'd say they are a friend. So you got someone like Chris at Optimus Crime. Um, Mate, you've been rocking from day one, and you inspire me and so many. Nothing but respect. And you got more like Sean at visual approach. I admire his passion, creativity, and the way he always stand up for real creators. And he proper stands up for people that are practical creators and stuff. So respect to him. Um, Another one who inspires me is Tom. Eye of Watu. Um, he's always inspiring me consistently because his creativity is endless. You know, he's his creativity is totally endless, and thank you for inspiring me. Then you got people like Jason B. Michael, Toon at Off the Shelf Pictures, Ian at Cosmic Photos, Toy Division, Tony at Toy Division, Derek Toy Lens. There's my favorite diorama maker, Tabletop Studios. She makes amazing dioramas, and I'd like to say thank you. And there's so many artists, you got Marty at What's Up Danger, Eric, Danny K, so many more. Like I said before, you know who you are. You guys are all amazing, and keep rocking. Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, I think a lot of creators out there measure their work by the numbers, and that can
Hmm.
be really frustrating, especially when you're putting your heart and soul into it.
Yeah, I think it is important, but I believe, um, yeah, I think you have to be consistent, and if you're rushing into things, and mainly I would say just have fun, do what you're doing, carry on. It will come, it will pick up. It doesn't pick up overnight.
Yeah.
Some photos are creepers, like I can post something that I'm on the first day I might just get about 100 likes, then week later I've got 1K, 2K,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's them meaningful pictures that are, some are quick hit pictures, yeah. The hype and stuff, quick hit pictures, but some pictures are here to stay. People will search for it, download it, and that's what you want, and that's the way I
Sure.
see it. I don't, I always post a picture thinking I couldn't care about any likes, or, whoever supports me, I know who you are, but in terms of the reach and numbers, um, you have to believe that it will pick up. But obviously you have to make effort. Once with effort, it will pick up, but you just got to be a bit patient.
Yeah. I think it's healthy to have like a good work ethic with your hobby, but also at the same
Hmm.
time, like it really matters, like you said, like what is your focus with the hobby? Like, are you doing this to like get enjoyment out of it and just as a hobby,
Hmm.
or are you trying to like become a professional? Like it really matters, because
Of course, yeah.
if you're just somebody who's in this to enjoy it as a hobby, but then you're
Hmm.
worried about how many your numbers you're getting, then it's really hard to enjoy the hobby.
Of course, I think everyone is different. Everyone's goal is different.
Mm.
Some people want something out of this. There's a lot of artists who probably, want to make a career out of this. You can, with hard work and effort, you can get somewhere. Nothing's
Yeah.
impossible. You can be collaborating with so many companies, left, right, center, but it takes effort. But I think everyone's goal is totally different. Um, so I won't know um who's trying to achieve what, but I do know the goal is different for everyone. So for some it's a hobby. For me, I enjoy what I do. For me, it's strictly a hobby. So when it comes to like and stuff, um, I am confident in um what I'm shooting, as in pictures and stuff, and I do. That came over time, it didn't come straight away. That came over time where I believe in my pictures, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I know, if I'm worrying about likes and stuff, I know it will pick up. I'm like taking a picture. All right, this picture's here to stay. Do you get where I'm
Mm.
coming from? This picture is not. You might not get 100 likes in one day or 200 likes in one day, but I'm telling you, look at my picture 1 month later, you're gonna see a few thousand.
Yeah.
I get that feeling now. The connection and stuff. But I think it's important to believe in your work, and the effort does pay off. Don't worry about people.
What advice would you give to somebody who's trying to stand out today in like a really creative in a space like Instagram, like uh, how would you approach it from somebody who's like maybe trying to really differentiate themselves as a
Mhm.
creator? Like what advice would you give?
I would always say, what's important is be yourself. You know, always be yourself. You know, um, be original. Enjoy your craft. Um, mainly have fun with it. Like I said, growth doesn't come overnight. It's always gradual, and that's all right. You know, keep believing in yourself. When it comes to learning, the learning never stops. And
For sure.
especially for smaller or new accounts who are upcoming and stuff, I'd say don't be shy or afraid to reach out for advice or guidance, you know. Um, we're all human, and I think, well, I don't think, I know we have more in common than we think. And this community is awesome as well. So, like I said, you're always welcome to connect for tips or support. Don't be shy. Yeah.
That is awesome. That's a really good advice. Where do you see yourself on your creative journey? Where are you wanting it to take you over the next? Let's look down the road, like 5, 10 years, even. Like where are you seeing yourself with this hobby?
Um, I think with me is I never look too far ahead. Um, I'm literally in the moment. I'm grateful for where I am. I'm having fun, you know. I'm just having fun, and maybe like in a few years, or if I do ever get time, time is a very important thing for me. Where I don't know what's tomorrow. You know, I might have more priorities with my kids growing up and stuff like this, or
Hmm.
I don't know. But I think I love to do more collaboration. You know, I love to make time to do more collaboration with companies,
Hmm.
in terms of promoting and stuff, just as a hobby. Again, nothing serious, just as a hobby.
Yeah. Is there a dream collaboration that you want to make?
Um, I won't say dream. Right now I do collaborate with a couple of companies. But again, they know for me it's a hobby. I'm having fun and you know, I'll help where I can. But I think uh, I'd say maybe one day I'd love to collaborate with um maybe Hot Toys one day or even Inner, you know. I've had
Yeah.
communications with them um quite recently. So but it all depends on my schedule and stuff. It's not easy to fit in with what you got outside of this community. Does that make sense? Um
Sure.
so yeah, whatever happens, um I'll be grateful, yeah.
So this is some more. I would say this is like more deeper questions. So take as
Mm-hmm.
long as you want with these.
So
What do you hope people feel when they look back at your work? Like, let's say years from now,
mhm.
people are going back and seeing all your work that you've created. What do you hope people are feeling when they see your stuff?
Um, I want people to connect um, with the portraits I take. I love to inspire people as well. I mean, I'm always getting inspired by other creators, but my main goal is always to inspire. Um, yeah, I'm quite basic, you know. I do try to provide like behind the scenes little videos here and there, but I do get um, I get happy when people reach out to me. I do have randomly get people messaging me asking me how I achieve this lighting or what I use or where I got this tool from, and um, it's always nice, you know.
Hmm,
It's always nice to uplift people and give them direction. Yeah.
for sure. Do you feel like toy photography has changed you as a person in any way?
Um, no. I'd say no. I don't let it get that far. I don't think this hobby has. Maybe it got me more organized in terms of um my personal life and stuff. It's like a breakdown, like I said. For me, it's like a break, but I won't
Yeah.
say it's changed me in any way. No, I'd say for the better. Yeah.
Yeah, for the better. I was thinking
Oh
maybe
yeah,
it's
yeah, totally got me. Um, I think the best thing that's come out of this hobby for me is getting to know so many people around the world, and
mm,
it's so nice to connect. Like how me and you talk. There's so many other artists who I can just connect, have a chat sometimes. And I think it's
yeah,
really nice. It's really nice to know that, well, I can come Japan, I know you, I can meet up with you. So I can
yes
go somewhere
sir.
else, and it's quite interesting. I think that's so amazing that I can go so many places now, give that person a message saying, listen, I'm here, let's meet up. And
Yeah,
it's amazing. I think that's really amazing. We all
yeah.
connecting from every part of the globe, and I think that's special.
It is special. It's definitely it feels like a real community for sure.
Oh, totally, yeah.
So, what advice would you give to somebody just starting out and picking up a camera and a figure for the first time?
Um, Uh, my advice would be, like I said before, always be yourself. And enjoy doing what you like. And mainly just have fun. Don't worry about other people, or you don't need to follow anyone in terms of what they're doing. Do what you want to do. Have fun with it. And main point I'd say is always remember growth doesn't come overnight. It will come. Trust in yourself. It's always gradual. And believe in yourself. And like I said, don't be shy or afraid to reach out. If you need to message someone or just do it. I'm always
Yeah,
open. I'm always open. I never say no to anyone. Anyone can message me. I couldn't care whether you got 1 or 50 followers. I get brand new accounts reaching out to me, and I'm always happy to talk. I think it's important that um, make time to those who come to you or reach out to you for help, because I think it's important to know I never forget how you started off. So
absolutely.
yeah, you gotta be grounded and humble always.